If I asked you the question, how long does it take to 100% a FNAF game? What would you say? Well, let's see. There's 5 nights, a 6th night, and a maximum that might take a while to beat. Probably around 4 to 6 hours. Now, if we were to go through multiple of these games and try to 100% all of them, we're looking at 12 to 20 hours. And here on the Bones5 YouTube channel on YouTube, we don't have time for that. We're all about efficiency. So what if there was a way to make it faster? And also, way harder. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Bones5 YouTube channel on YouTube. In today's video, we're going to answer the question, is it possible to 100% 3 FNAF games at the same time? I hope you enjoy. Let's lay out some rules for this challenge. I'm going to choose 3 out of the first 6 FNAF games and play all of the nights within those games at the exact same time. Why 3 games? Well, 2 is kind of boring, and later on in the video you'll see I believe 3 is the absolute limit for this challenge. First, let's lay out exactly what 100% means. I'm classifying 100% as beating the first 5 nights, night 6, and the max mode of whatever games we choose. A max mode would be like 1020 for FNAF 2 or Aggressive Nightmare for FNAF 3. In order to progress in any of the games that we choose, we must start every night at the exact same time. And if we die in any of the 3 games at any point, we have to restart the night on all 3. Manually lowering the frame rate of FNAF 1 in order to stall animatronic timers is also banned. With the rules for this challenge out of the way, the first question to answer is which 3 of the 6 games should we choose? Well, we can automatically rule out Sister Location. Sister Location doesn't follow a traditional Five Nights formula and kind of violates the rules for this challenge because you could just stall and wait on some screens, leaving us to choose from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. There are a few conditions that we want to see in a game that will make it good for this challenge. The first one is not being reliant on sound cues. When we click out of one game to do something in another game, the sounds from the first game are muted. So we'll only be able to hear things when we're actively clicked into a specific game's window. We're not going to be in each game's window for very long, so we want the game to not be super reliant on sound cues. The second condition is having long periods of waiting. We want to have load times or times where we can't do anything in order to deal with other tasks in other games. So let's run through our options and see how well they meet these guidelines. FNAF 1 isn't reliant on sound cues, but Foxy can be a bit tricky with wait times, so we'll come back to this one. FNAF 2 isn't reliant on sound cues, and has consistent load times during blackouts. This is an easy pick. FNAF 3 is slightly reliant on audio cues, but can be done without them, and has tons of waiting and load times. This is another easy pick. FNAF 4 is super reliant on sound cues and has almost no wait times on later nights. We're definitely not including this one. FNAF 6 is reliant on sound cues, but has a lot of wait times. We can pretty easily select 2 and 3 from these, leaving 1 or 6 to take our final spot. I ultimately chose FNAF 1 because I believe its max mode will be easier and because it's less reliant on audio cues than FNAF 6. So this actually lined up chronologically. We'll be trying to 100% the first 3 FNAF games at the same time. This means that the last stage of this challenge will be 420 plus 1020 plus Aggressive Nightmare all at the same time. Is this possible? Hey, I mean, watch till the end to find out. With that said, let's get into night 1. This night was pretty easy, all things considered. There's a lot of waiting around in this night, so I'm going to take some time to explain why we have things set up the way we do. I'm not going to go super in depth with AI until later in this video, and I'm going to assume that you're all tired of hearing every single video on this channel talk about how movement opportunities work. So I'm just going to skip that part and say that you all know how the gameplay of FNAF 1 through 3 work on a basic level. For this video, you don't need a super deep understanding of AI until later, so it shouldn't be a problem. As you can see, our largest window is FNAF 2, with 3 and 1 on the side and smaller windows. I have it set up like this because FNAF 2 is going to require much more attention than 1 and 3. All that needs to be done in FNAF 1 for the first few nights is the occasional cam flip to keep Foxy at bay, and checking the doors every now and then. We don't need to worry about FNAF 3 for now, because Springtrap doesn't actually arrive until night 2. Though, something I will note now is that all of the night times for these games are different. FNAF 1's nights last 8 minutes and 55 seconds, FNAF 2's nights last 7 minutes, and FNAF 3's nights last 6 minutes. As per the rules, even if I were to fully complete a night on 3 and 2, failing at the end of FNAF 1 would still mean restarting on every single game. This is some really good foreshadowing here. No! 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 I used a timer throughout this challenge to keep track of when each game would end. When playing in night 1, I tried to get used to switching between games. I noticed that I could mouse over the cameras in FNAF 1 without actually clicking into the game. This allowed me to hear another game, most likely FNAF 3, while dealing with Foxy in FNAF 1. As for night 1 itself, it wasn't too interesting. I wasn't attacked at all in FNAF 2, and I was only attacked once in FNAF 1 by Bonnie, so we finished this one out pretty easily. Okay. That is night 1 for all 3 of the games at once. Obviously that wasn't too hard because, what's his name? Springtrap wasn't in the building yet. So now night 2, Springtrap will be here. So this will probably be much more challenging. The biggest change from night 1 to night 2 is that Springtrap is now fully active. So I'll take some time here to explain exactly how we're going to deal with him in this challenge. You see, FNAF 3 tells you a lot more with audio cues than you might think. The audio cue that we're going to be paying the most attention to is this sound. Let's call this the danger sound. Whenever Springtrap enters Cam 5, the danger sound will quietly play. And whenever Springtrap enters Cam 2, is at the glass, or is at Cam 1, or in your office, the danger sound will play louder. This sound will only stop playing if Springtrap enters a vent, or enters the upper half of the map. You might think this is a bad thing. I did say at the beginning of the video that audio cues weren't good for this challenge. However, this audio cue is constant and instantly recognizable. The moment we click into FNAF 3, we can immediately guess where Springtrap is based on the volume of this sound. Anxiety sound is playing, it's not good. However, we won't be able to tell when Springtrap enters a vent unless we happen to be clicked into FNAF 3 when he does. So it's extremely important that if the danger sound is not playing, we check all of the vents to see if he's in any of them, and if he is, we seal whichever vent he's in. Luckily, in this night, Springtrap never even got close to our office. The most he ever did was enter the vent connected to Cam 9, but we were able to spot and seal that vent, making FNAF 3 pretty chill this night. As for FNAF 2, we had our first ever attack from the man of the hour himself. During this night, I began to realize just how good FNAF 2 is for this challenge in these earlier nights. You can spend a lot of time away from this game and still save yourself. Aside from Golden Freddy, who has an extremely rare chance of spawning this early in the game, only 2 animatronics can kill you when you aren't near cameras. Those are Foxy and the puppet. Let's talk about Foxy first. This is the exact equation that determines how long it takes until Foxy is ready to jump scare you. This variable D is the amount of time that Foxy has been waiting without being flashed. This value will count up by 1 every second normally, or 2 every second if you have the mask on with no threats present in the vents or in front of you. It will also pause during blackouts. Foxy's AI is set to 0 for all of night 2, so even in the worst case scenario, we can go 21 full seconds without flashing Foxy. As for the puppet, the music box will last a full 50 seconds before running out. And even then, the puppet still has to succeed a 1 in 4 chance to leave the box every second. So we're free to leave FNAF 2 idle for a while, come back every now and then to flash Foxy and check the vents, before pulling up the cameras to wind the box. FNAF 1 was slowly becoming a bit more chaotic and was showing some bad signs for the future. Foxy was already leaving Pirate's Cove, and considering that his AI was only 1 to 3 depending on the night time, it wasn't looking good for the next few nights. Regardless, I was able to clutch out night 2 on the first attempt. Toy Bonnie. Very nice, FNAF 3's done. Okay, we can just chill for a while. Okay, night 2 complete. Oh man. Also, I feel like now is a good time to mention that the FNAF 3 good ending minigames are banned for this challenge. If I allowed them, I could stall FNAF 3 out and complete 1 and 2 and then 3 afterwards, which obviously isn't allowed. With nights 1 and 2 down deathless, it was time to move on to night 3. Well, there is not much to do but continue. On night 3, I ended up taking my first death of this challenge. This was because of someone who will become very, very important later, Phantom Freddy. Phantom Freddy can only appear on night 3 onwards on every 60-second interval, so whenever the in-game hour changes, Phantom Freddy has an AI in 12 chance to appear. In the main 5 nights of FNAF 3, all of the Phantom's AI levels except for Foxy are just the night number, so this simplifies to a 25% chance every hour on night 3. Phantom Freddy will also be force spawned at 4 AM if he hasn't already jumpscared the player. His actual mechanic prevents the player from idling too long. In the case of night 3, if the player isn't in the cameras or maintenance panel for 4 seconds, Phantom Freddy will jumpscare you. On the topic of FNAF 3, I should probably explain what our strategy is for Springtrap. In the last night, I talked about how we can find him, but here's how we'll actually deal with him. If you've seen my FNAF 3 guide video, we're going to be using that same strategy. Essentially, we're going to let Springtrap wander around the building until he reaches Cam 2. If Springtrap enters any vents, we'll seal them accordingly. You may think that it would be risky keeping Springtrap so close to us, but Cam 2 actually gives the best sense of awareness for where Springtrap is. Remember, earlier I mentioned that the danger sound gets louder whenever Springtrap enters this area. We can use this to instantly recognize where he is and start looping him in Cam 2. You see, Springtrap's movements are very limited in Cam 2. He only has one vent near him, and if he wants to move forward, he'll be visible on the glass and can be lured back. This creates the most consistent loop to keep Springtrap in throughout the night, and it's how we'll deal with him for most of this challenge. As for the rest of night 3, FNAF 1 was starting to become the most difficult game to stay consistent in. With FNAF 2's music box now ticking down faster, I simply had way less time to check on FNAF 1. So if someone managed to get to my door and succeed in their first movement, that's a 5-second window that I really just couldn't react to. No! God damn it! No! Oh my god, dude. FNAF 1's gonna be the downfall of me. FNAF 1 will kill me, I swear. I also started to miss Springtrap because of sound cues in other games. The vent noise in FNAF 2 is really similar to the vent noise in FNAF 3. So sometimes I would click into FNAF 2 and 3 quickly, hear banging in the vents, and think, oh, it's from FNAF 2, it's not a big deal. When in reality, it's in FNAF 3 and it's a huge deal. Oh my god. When did he even... Dude. Eventually, I was on a really good run for night 3. I'd gotten Springtrap into a Cam 2 loop early, and Foxy wasn't succeeding on many movements in FNAF 1. At 5 AM on FNAF 3, Springtrap had left the Cam 2 loop, then snuck back and entered the Cam 2 vent while I wasn't looking. Thankfully, I happened to catch him in time, and FNAF 3 was complete. Removing any one of these 3 games makes the other 2 much easier, and without FNAF 3, FNAF 2 and 1 went down pretty easily. Though I was pretty worried for the next nights, specifically in FNAF 1. Freddy starts becoming active on night 3 of FNAF 1, but his AI is so low that he's almost never a threat. For the entire night, he's only at 1 AI, so I was just preying on Freddy not reaching Cam 4B until FNAF 3 was done, since I didn't really have the time to frequently check Freddy and Foxy with the other 2 games. Surviving FNAF 1 Freddy combined with FNAF 2 and 3 was gonna be tough, but there's only one way to find out. On to night 4. If I had to pick the worst combination for this night, it would be FNAF 1 Foxy and the music box in FNAF 2. The music box is now half as forgiving as in night 2, now taking 25 seconds to run out. This means that we're going to have to spend a lot more time winding the box in FNAF 2, which takes away from cam flips in FNAF 1, making Foxy a lot more aggressive. Springtrap was also much more aggressive, and it was becoming much harder to spot him whenever he entered an unsealed vent. Though, I did find a bit of a workaround for how to deal with Phantom Freddy in FNAF 3. Before, I would just sit in the FNAF 3 office and idle while I was dealing with other tasks and other games, but this made Phantom Freddy really hard to react to whenever I saw him. So I instead decided to just leave the cameras up whenever I went to go check on another game. This would mean getting video errors on the cameras much more frequently, but that was a trade-off that I was willing to make. On night 4, you have 36 seconds total to use the cameras before you get a video error. And considering how much idling I was doing before in FNAF 3, getting some extra errors shouldn't be too much of a problem. After starting this strategy, things were actually looking up, and I was about to complete night 4 significantly faster than night 3. Down went FNAF 3, then FNAF 2, just FNAF 1 left. Cake. Easy money. No! 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 Oh! No! I won solo FNAF 1! Oh my god! I won solo FNAF 1! No! Why? And Foxy stage 3. If he was stage 1, it was winnable. No! I won solo FNAF 1. I won solo FNAF 1. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Tragedy. Actual tragedy. There is no worse feeling than completing 3 and 2, generally regarded as 2 of the harder FNAF games, and then failing on FNAF 1. FNAF 1 is a baby game, dude. The reason that I think I sold here was because of stress from Foxy and Freddy. Foxy was about to move and Freddy had reached Cam 4B, so I went to go check on Foxy, meaning I had to close the right door in case Freddy succeeded on his next movement opportunity. Because of how small the FNAF 1 window was on my computer, I was moving pretty slow in the game, and left a single movement opportunity open for Bonnie to jam the door. And wouldn't you know it, he took that 25% chance and smashed that door button. Though, if I had to rank these games based on difficulty for the first 5 nights, FNAF 3 would beat 1 and 2 by a landslide, and that was really showing here. I was taking a ton of deaths from Springtrap from him just being too fast to catch when dealing with the music box and FNAF 1 Foxy. After a few Springtrap deaths, I was finally able to get a run past FNAF 3. Just had to clutch out 2 and 1. Holy f. Oh god. This is the challenge ever. Oh my goodness gracious. With night 4 done, this challenge was really starting to heat up and get crazy. With 3 nights left, it was time to take on night 5 and see if we could finish the main game. Night 5 was just too much. We're dealing with a 20-second music box and a 16-second worst-case Foxy in FNAF 2, and a much faster FNAF 1 Bonnie and Chica. I just could not keep up with all of these games. If I prioritized FNAF 1 and 2, Springtrap would get by. If I instead tried going for 2 and 3, my door would jam. And if I went for 1 and 3, my box would run out or I'd miss a vent animatronic. I needed a way to totally eliminate one of the games. I don't know, man. I'm gonna give it 3 more tries before I pull out the big guns. I don't want to do this. You guys made me do this. You guys made me do this. Well, that was 2 attempts. Time to blow Foxy's head off. That's right, in FNAF 1, you can actually kill Foxy using an insanely precise glitch. I may have banned the 1 FPS strat, but this glitch is still most certainly on the table. Let me explain exactly what we're doing here. You see, FNAF 1 doors have 4 states they can be in. These are indexes 0, 1, 2, and 4. If you're wondering why there's no index 3, I have no idea either, it was just never used for anything. Index 0 is an open door, Index 1 is a door that's closing, Index 2 is a closed door, and Index 4 is an opening door. Now, how does this relate to Foxy? Well, when Foxy runs down the hallway and tries to enter your office, he's going to check which state the door is in. If the door is open, he just enters and jump scares you. If the door is closing, he'll wait until it's closed, then bonk on the door. If the door is already closed when he arrives, he'll obviously just bonk on the door. Now what we care about is Index 4, when the door is opening from a closed animation. When Foxy sees that the door is in stage 4, he doesn't bonk on the door. Instead, he patiently waits until the door is fully open and reaches Index 0, then enters the office. So for the 12 frames that the door is opening, Foxy is at the door but is not yet able to jump scare us. This is where the final component of this glitch comes in, the lights. Every frame that the light is on, it has a 20% chance to flicker, which resets the sprite for the entire office. But if this flickering happens whenever Foxy is patiently waiting outside of the door, Foxy is just deleted from the game, and his sprite is completely overwritten, and makes it so you can never even pull up the cameras. So even if you wanted to die, you couldn't, as Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy can only jump scare you after you pull up the cameras. Now, that sounds great, but the downside to this glitch is that it's really precise. The animation of the door opening lasts 14 frames or 0.23 seconds, so we need to time this 14 frame window over when Foxy gets to our door, which is a really tight timing and is super difficult to pull off consistently. After implementing this new strategy, I was already seeing some crazy improvement. Before, I struggled to even reach 2 AM, but on my first run with the sprite overwrite glitch, I made it 4 minutes and 42 seconds in. But there was still a catch. Because the Foxy kill was so precise, 90% of runs wouldn't make it past the Foxy glitch. So when a run did, and I ended up dying, it would hurt a lot more. I swear, the moment I would get the Foxy glitch, Springtrap would start hating on me. Literally, look at this clip.
Hi.
You fucking bitch, don't you run. Oh my god, Springtrap, I'm gonna murder you.
You way at the bottom. You way at the bottom.
What is that? That's a 1 in 49. That's a 1 in 49 chance. Make sure this motherfucker first. On the box.
Making I'm killing him every time. He keep going.
Springtrap! Oh, you're so funny, Springtrap. Springtrap has a 1 in 7 chance to not listen to an audio lure when you lure him from an adjacent room. So that right there was 3 failed lures, which means that was a 1 in 343 chance. I love my video game luck. After many more attempts, I finally got a good looking run. This is my best game. There's no way I lose this. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yes, dude. Oh my god. Thank the Lord. Oh my god, we can even do this ending cutscene. Oh my god, I'm about to humble this motherfucker so bad in this cutscene. I hate this dude so much. Springtrap, you're such a bitch. Oh my god. Go run a shit. Run a shit, bro. Let's go. This theme is so good. Let it cook. Let it. The end. The end. Well, almost. We have more to do, but Springtrap won't be as hard anymore. That was his final form. With the main game clear, it was time to move on to Night 6. Well, almost. We have more to do, but Springtrap won't be as hard anymore. That was his final form. Wait, hold up. Why did the Bones5 YouTube channel on YouTube say this? Springtrap's AI on Night 6 jumps up 2 whole points, which in FNAF 3 is a lot. Clearly, Springtrap is a lot harder on Night 6. That would be true if it wasn't for FGP. On November 23rd of 2021, Freddy Game Player uploaded a video that would change FNAF 3 forever. What if I told you that it was possible to beat Night 6 of FNAF 3 without ever using the audio lure? Well, Freddy Game Player found some interesting quirks in Night 6 of FNAF 3, and was able to abuse them to make the night much easier. You see, on every night except for Night 6, the ventilation will fail after a certain amount of time, and the player has no way to stop this unless they reboot early. But for some reason, whether this was intentional or not, the ventilation cannot naturally fail on Night 6. Okay, sure, cool, but how does that keep Springtrap away from us? Well, let's first talk about how Springtrap's jump scare works. Once Springtrap is ready to jump scare you, he can only do so once one of these conditions are met. 1. The ventilation fails, whether by a phantom jump scare or by some other means. Or 2, the player is in the cameras or the maintenance panel for more than 0.5 seconds. Freddy Game Player found a way to go around both of these conditions. You see, Phantom Freddy has a 50% chance to spawn at 1 AM on Night 6. There's a good chance we can eat a Phantom Freddy jump scare when Springtrap is still far away enough to not jump scare us. When you get jump scared by a Phantom in FNAF 3, that Phantom cannot spawn for the rest of the night. So this completely eliminates Phantom Freddy for the rest of the night. Once Phantom Freddy has jump scared you, reset the ventilation and turn over to the right side of the screen so that the cameras are visible. Now, on 8-second intervals, pull up the cameras and pull them down as fast as you possibly can. Note that moving your mouse around the camera button will allow you to click sooner. The ventilation may not be able to naturally fail, but it can still fail from idling in the office for too long. If you haven't pulled up the cameras or maintenance panel for 10 seconds, a timer will begin to count down. Once that timer finishes, the ventilation will begin to fail, causing you to lose the night to Springtrap. So as long as we can pull the cameras up for less than 0.5 seconds on every flip, and flip at least once every 10 seconds, we can use the FGP strat to beat FNAF 3 while putting much more attention on FNAF 2. That being said, Night 6 was making me lose my mind. I had been playing these games for around 6 hours straight at this point, and in order to get a good run going, I had to first get the Foxy glitch, which remember is a 14 frame window, then survive in FNAF 3 until I got a Phantom Freddy jump scare, then finish out FNAF 2 while continuously hitting 0.5 second flips in FNAF 3. Not him hitting the It was. Foxy, you were too aggressive. Me being too aggressive? Who would have thought? Had Phantom Freddy, but doesn't matter because Foxy doesn't want to move. One big problem with Night 6 though was how long Foxy was taking to leave Pirate's Cove. If Foxy was failing movements, then I would sometimes need to wait 1 full minute for Foxy to run at the door and give me a chance at the glitch. And this time added up pretty quickly with how often I failed the Foxy glitch and needed to restart. Eventually, I was blessed with a 1 AM Phantom Freddy and nailed the Foxy glitch. From here, it was all down to hitting intervals in FNAF 3 and clutching up in FNAF 2. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, let's enjoy our victory with FNAF 1. How did that even go? Did I do a late Foxy or a late Freddy, or what did I do there? I can't remember. Oh my god, this is the backrooms hum. Ugh. I'm gonna end the night flexing on Bonnie. Hold on. Oof. Gotta flex on Bonnie to end the night. Oof. Oof. How does it feel? How does it feel? You f***ing dickhead. Oh my god, Springtrap? Dude, how does it feel? How does it feel, bro? Oh my god, how does it feel? Oof. With Night 6 down, there is only one challenge that remains. It is time for 420, 1020, and Aggressive Nightmare all at the same time. This was one of the most mind-numbing challenges I've ever done. But the Bones 5, you used bug strats on FNAF 1 and 3. Silence! Let me tell you how brutal the 420, 1020 Aggressive Nightmare strategy really is. When you first load into the night, click into FNAF 2 and wind the box. Make sure you start your timer in sync with FNAF 2 and not any of the other games, as FNAF 2 will be the one that the timer matters for. Then, click into FNAF 3 and seal the Cam 2 vent. Do not pull the cameras down. Click back into FNAF 2 and flash the flashlight once. If Foxy rolls a double 21 on his equation, he can kill you if you don't flash before 10 seconds. Then, click into FNAF 1 and close the left and right doors. Go back into FNAF 2 and play as you would normally until 22 seconds. We're now going to start the Shooter 25 blackout strategy, in which you always pull the cameras up on digits ending in 2 and always pull them down on digits ending in 6. If you want more information about this specific strategy, check out my video on how players removed RNG from FNAF 2. So I'm not going to go as in detail here. Once the first blackout has started, go into FNAF 1 and trigger the Foxy glitch. Make sure you open the right door at some point as well. Then play FNAF 2 normally until the 56-second blackout. Then click into FNAF 3 and move to the left side of the room. There's a 50-50 chance that Phantom Freddy will jump scare you at 110, so pray that he does. Then reboot the ventilation. Once the ventilation is rebooted, move to the right side of the FNAF 3 office. Now, for the rest of the night, play FNAF 2 as you normally would, and whenever you have the mask on, quickly click into FNAF 3 and do a cam flip, making sure that it's shorter than 0.5 seconds. Do this for the rest of FNAF 2 and 3 and you'll beat all 3 max modes at the same time. So let me repeat, to do this challenge, you need to hit a glitch with a 0.2 second window, then get a 50-50 chance with Phantom Freddy to spawn at 1 AM, and also not have Springtrap kill you when Phantom Freddy jump scares you, and survive the ventilation reboot. And after all of that, you have a chance, a single chance to beat FNAF 2 1020. Oh, but don't forget, if you mess up one singular cam flip in FNAF 3, gone. Springtrap kills you. Mess up playing FNAF 2 1020, gone. Run over. I attempted this challenge for 3.5 hours, and do you want to guess how many runs made it past the setup stage? 5 runs. God, I hate Phantom Freddy. Also, shout out to Scott for making the FNAF 1 custom night AI values always default to 1331. Who goes into the custom night to play anything but 2020? I had to destroy my mouse every time I wanted to restart. Listen, this challenge took a lot out of me. So if you've been enjoying the video so far, please subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. I had to plug myself right there. It helps a bunch, and is good motivation to do more of these stupid challenges. Now, the biggest tip I can give here is for the Foxy glitch. 99% of my runs ended right here. But I did manage to find a bit of a consistent strategy to get it. You see, movements in FNAF games are never actually movements. Technically, every single movement is a teleport. Animatronics don't gradually move, they just update where they are. The way that the game handles Foxy running down the hallway is to update his position to the left door the moment the sound cue ends. So, we want to have the door in the opening animation right when the sound cue is about to end. Foxy's sound cue has 10 footsteps. And I found it to be most consistent to open the door on the 9th footstep. Now, after 3.5 hours of attempts, I present to you FNAF 1's 420, FNAF 2's 1020, and FNAF 3's Aggressive Nightmare, all beaten at the same time. Yes! Oh. Oh. Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god.
Yeah. Mike might be going too.
I know. I beat the challenge early, so I get to go too! We gotta wait until FNAF 1's over, but...
What if the game glitches and it just lose? You just lose.
It'd be so funny if it crashed. You know what I'd do? Still count it anyway. That.
They call him the goat.
They do. They do call me the GOAT. Now, you're probably wondering if this challenge could go any further. Honestly, I think it may be possible in theory to add FNAF 6 to the roster, but it would make the already bad RNG and precision from this challenge even worse. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to see me do more stupid FNAF challenges like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for the support on the FNAF 4 No Doors video. It's been popping off like crazy, so again, thank you so much. With that said, thank you for watching. Peace. Go stand right here and just shoot the fuck out of that thing.
I forgot to God mode.